Hey, welcome everybody to the 412 Homestead. I'm Susie and today we are going to cook up something yummy. It's rainy outside, so we're just going to stay inside today and bake something good to eat. We're going to have baked apple French toast. Simple recipe, it takes about 35 minutes to bake, so let's get started. All right, you guys, it's a simple recipe today. We're going to be using a pre-baked loaf of French bread. The recipe that I'm using is a Pampered Chef recipe, and it said 8 ounces of French bread. This is 16. We're going to see what fits in our rectangular baker. This is my Pampered Chef baker. It's stoneware, and that's what I usually do the baked apple French toast in. So it's so easy to do. What you need to do right now is get your oven preheated to 400 degrees. 400 degrees, we're going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes. But you want to spray your baker. I'm just going to use some Pam and spray that down. That way when we bake, or when we slice our bread, we can poke it right in our pan. So what you want to do is you want to open it up and you want to slice this to about 1-inch thick slices. And we're just going to pack this all into our baker. I really would like to have had a thicker loaf. This is not real thick, but we're going to make it work. We're just going to cut it to about, that's probably over 1 inch. But we're just going to start layering it in our pan, just like that right there. So I'm going to get these cut up. We are going to just stack this in here. And I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll go on to our next step. All right, so we've got our bread layered in there just like that. It's just a single layer. Fits in there nicely. So next what we need to do is mix up our egg mixture, and an egg and milk mixture. That recipe that we're pouring on the top of our French bread, it's 6 eggs, 1.5 cups of milk. We're putting in 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now this is 8 tablespoons of sugar, but we're saving 5 tablespoons, and we're going to mix some cinnamon in with it. That's what we're going to sprinkle over the top of our apples. But to go in our milk and egg mixture, then we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So we're going to get to cracking. And this recipe, we can mix it up. It is one that you can prepare this the night before and put it in your refrigerator and then pull it out and bake it the next morning. Now it does say when you mix your egg mixture and you pour it over the top, put it in your refrigerator and let it set for an hour. You know what? I usually don't do that. We are usually ready to eat it, so I don't let it soak. You can if you have time. It may just soak into the bread more, but when I've done it, I've always just cooked it and it tasted perfect. So anyhow, that's food for thought. If you're going to have something the next day, maybe a brunch, prepare this the night before, just cover it, put it in your refrigerator. Then you can pull it out the next morning, stick it in your oven and bake it. But we're going to add our 1.5 cups of milk. And then we are going to do our 1.5 teaspoons, no, I'm sorry, a teaspoon of vanilla. Add that in there. And then we need just, it said 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm just pouring just like that, right there. Just a smidge. Everybody knows what a smidge is. Now we need 3 tablespoons of sugar. And we're gonna, like I said, save the other 5 tablespoons for our cinnamon sprinkle that we're gonna make. All right, so we're just gonna give this a whisk, get those eggs all beat up, and we're just gonna pour that right over the top of our bread. Now this will, whoops, I'm making a mess. This will have kind of a crunchy top on it. When we get done, we're gonna peel with our Pampered Chef core peeler 4 Granny Smith apples. And that thing is a neat little gadget, y'all. But we're gonna, once we get this poured onto our bread, we're gonna peel and core those apples. And then we're going to put our cinnamon sugar, and then we're going to put a little bit of butter on it, and we'll be ready to bake. But I think I've got that all, well, there's a few. I think I've got it pretty much incorporated. So we're just going to slide this over here, and we're just going to pour this right over the top of our bread. Just like that right there. Just like that. And like I said, if you have time that you want to put this in the refrigerator and let it soak, go ahead. But like I said, we usually don't because we're ready to eat. So right now I'm going to get out our apple core peeler and we're going to get these apples done. All right, you guys, we got that covered. So now we've got to do our apples. And I'm going to show you this Pampered Chef peeler core that I got. I used to sell Pampered Chef years ago, so I had all the fun little gadgets, but this is a neat little deal. We're using 4 Granny Smith apples, and they are clean, but we're just gonna give them a peel. Got the prongs here. You just put your apple right on those prongs. And all you've got to do, now there's a way, this had a clamp on it, but where the clamp's gone, I don't know. We're just going to give this a twirl. And what this does is it catches and it starts just peeling your apple. And in the end, not only does it peel it, but it also slices it. And it cores it all at the same time. You can tell the apple's a little bit lopsided here, but you just pull that whole ring of apples off there. We've got a little bit of our peel still on there, but that's okay. And I want to show you guys the coolest thing. Let me get a knife here. Like I said, it cores the apple. It peels the apple, and it also slices the apple. And if mine didn't fall apart, it would be like one curly Q French fry. There you go, you can see it. But if you just take and you cut your apple down through on one side, it just disconnects each one of those pieces. And that's what we're gonna layer on the top of our French bread. So I'm going to get this all peeled, and then we will layer that up. You just pull that back. Now you've got something for your chickens. Or, you know, I've seen people make grape jelly, or not grape jelly, apple jelly with the peels. We're not going to do that today. We're just getting our breakfast ready. But it is things that you could use, not just throw away. So we're just going to do that again till we get all 4 of our Granny Smith apples peeled. Now, obviously, these are not Granny Smith apples because our store did not have Granny Smith apples. So I went with what they had, and it'll be wonderful. It doesn't have to be Granny Smith. That's the recipe. But you pick whatever kind of apples that you like. You know what? That's what I always tend to do with recipes. If it's something that I don't like in it, I'm going to substitute it with what I like, because you know, there is no sense in fixing something if you don't like it. You want to just fix something that is going to be good for you and your family. So we do like these red. I think I got red delicious apples. So that's what we're using here today. Now, if you're going to peel very many of these, you might want to dip these in some, maybe some lemon water to keep them from browning. But since we're doing this pretty quickly, I don't think we're going to have much worry about these turning brown before we get them used. So we're not going to worry about that. But we'll get all these peeled, and we'll come back and we'll get them layered in on our French bread. All right, we're finishing up with the last one. It makes quick work, you guys, if you've got one of these little Pampered Chef things. Now, I'm sure that you could probably go on Amazon and find something comparable to this that would work. Or you could use a paring knife and, you know, do it the old-fashioned way. We just like to have some gadgets to play with. So let me get this out of the way here. And we're just going to slice this other three right down the side like I showed you on that first one. And we're just going to put a layer of this right on top of our French bread. So I'm just going to start layering them on there. You guys, it doesn't have to be any certain way. You do it however you want to. I've seen them when they're so pretty, I just get them on there. No fuss, no frills. Just layer them on, because then we're going to come back and we are going to put on our cinnamon and sugar sprinkle. Now I'm going to use 2 of these, layer it with our sugar and cinnamon, come back and put the other 2 apples on. So I'm going to kind of make it even layers here. And there's some holes, you know, where we corded it. So if you want to fill that full of your apples, kind of overlap them where, you know, it's just a full apple layer. Okay, so that's 2 of them. Now we're going to take our, that's 5 tablespoons of sugar. And we're going to go and add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. I probably got more like 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in there, but that's okay, because we definitely want to make sure that it's good and spiced up. So I'm just going to use this little spoon, and I'm just going to sprinkle it right over the top. I've got our mixture mixed up pretty good. So I'm just going to take and just sprinkle that right on the top. And now don't forget, you only use about half of it, because you're going to have to do the top layer. And you know, I've never done it before, but I bet brown sugar would be good to put on the top of this also. But we're just going with their recipe, which is cinnamon and sugar. Little bit more. All right. Now we're going to go in with that second layer of apples. And like I said, this is a good recipe if you maybe you have a baby shower coming up, or an office breakfast. maybe somebody's birthday. This is something good that you can make the night before, and like I said, stick it, cover it over, stick it in your refrigerator, and all you've got to do is the next morning get up, preheat your oven, 400 degrees. When that timer goes off, that it's heated, throw that in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. You can finish going ahead and getting ready for work, and then you'll have a hot pan of goodness to take to work to share with everybody. So we got that second layer going. We're just going to try to evenly distribute this cinnamon and sugar, and then I think it said 2 tablespoons of butter. You know what, I'm probably going to use a little bit more than 2 tablespoons of butter. But we're just going to sprinkle that. We're going to cut it in little pieces and just sprinkle that little pieces of butter all over the top of it. And then we'll be ready to bake it. 30 to 35 minutes. For some reason I was thinking it was more like an hour, but when I look back at the recipe, it said 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get it all coated so that every bite that somebody gets, they're going to have that apple, cinnamon, sugar goodness in their bite. I think we just about got it here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do, like I said, I think it says 2 tablespoons. I just don't think that's enough butter. But you guys, if you like this video, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I'm going to ask you to do so right now. You're helping us grow our channel here at the 412 Homestead. We're out gardening now. I should say again, between rain, but it has been so wet here in Oklahoma that we've got to come inside and bake something. So, but don't forget to like and subscribe our videos. We appreciate all of our nice comments, and we like to be able to connect with you all and answer some questions and just have a chat. We're getting messages from all over, so that's pretty exciting for us. So what I'm doing is I'm just slicing kind of thin pieces, and I am just going to kind of distribute this all over the top of our little, I'm going to call it a breakfast casserole. Maybe it's not a casserole, but I put it in a casserole dish, so that's what I'm calling it here at 412 Homestead. So I hope you all have been well and everything's going good in your life. We enjoy the comments we get from everyone, so keep us in touch with what's going on with you all. For us, it's just trying to get out there and get our garden going, and my goodness, you all, the stuff, if it doesn't drown, it's because God kept its head above the water. We're wondering if we're going to have any watermelons this year because, oh, our watermelon patch is just pretty flooded, and the plants are out there looking like, help me. But you know, the rest of the stuff in our tubs are doing pretty good. We've got some things that are have germinated and starting to grow, so we'll have to take you through a garden tour when it's not raining. All right, I'm going to put just one more little pat on here, and I think we're going to call that good. I think we've got it pretty well covered to where that butter can just melt and run down through that cinnamon and sugar. So you guys, that's what it looks like right now before we put it in the oven. And we've got our oven, it's already preheated 400 degrees. We're going to bake that for, I'm going to say, the whole 35 minutes. So let's get it in and get it cooked. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at how beautiful that is. Out of the oven, it's set for just a few minutes. So I've drizzled a little bit more butter on the top of it. Let's get that thing cut and see what it tastes like. All right, we're just gonna go in here with a big scoop. And the way we serve this, we are going to pour some syrup right over the top of it. We don't want to leave them apples in there. We want to make sure we get them apples on the top of it. And then we just take it and we just drizzle syrup right over the top of it. And there you go, guys and gals. We've got a breakfast, beautiful breakfast. Baked apple French toast right here at the 412 Homestead. You guys, I hope you've enjoyed our videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till we see you again, be kind to one another and we love you.